TEX Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are the West.
Mazzara to second, and he has a leadoff double.
Nomar Mazzara is the unsung hero of the Rangers offense.
Bouncer up the middle, that's a base hit. 2 scores, Mazzara has cracked this one open.
In the shadow of an all-time great, climbing the ladder on baseball's hit list.
It's hitting the left field, and there it is, number 3,000 for Adrian Beltre.
Overlooked because of a young stud launching baseballs high and far.
And takes a massive swing and launches this ball, and where will it land? Wow.
Nomar's production lacks attention.
And he hits this ball hard to center field. Davis going back, looks up, gone! A grand slam for Nomar Mazzara.
And that's why this 23-year-old is the silent assassin for the Texas Rangers.
Yes, Nomar Mazzara to try and lead the Rangers to a second win here in Kansas City. Middle game in our 3-game series. And the Rangers looking to make it a 4-game winning streak. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond. CJ Nikowski will be alongside here shortly. There was a lot of news before today's ball game. The Rangers had a closed-door meeting, and later the media would learn the news of Yohander Mendez optioned back to AAA Round Rock in violation of team rules, according to general manager John Daniels. Rougned Odor also in the lineup initially, removed today, and Jeff Bannister declined to say that that move was related. There were a handful of individuals involved in violation of the team rules yesterday. Austin Bivens-Dirks, recalled from AAA Round Rock, will make the start tomorrow for Texas. Now we turn our attention to more fun things like what this Rangers team has been doing, and fresh out of the makeup chair, we bring in CJ Nikowski. This team has won now 3 straight games, and they've been really hitting the ball lately.
Yeah, the offense has been good and doing everything that you're looking for lately here with the Rangers, and it's been up and down the order. But take a look first at what has happened over these last 3 games. Obviously, the 8 runs per game, that's a nice sign. But dig in a little bit deeper, the on-base percentage, what they have done with runners in scoring position, not just getting hits, but the OPS slugging a little bit in the process as well. And we're going to take you through what all of these guys have been doing, and we're going to kick it off with Chu, who has been excellent in the leadoff spot. He has been on a pretty incredible run, but over these last 3, 5 hits, 4 walks. That is 9 times that he has been on base. That has been good to see. Nomar Mazzara having a very nice 2018 over the last 3, 5 for 9 for him with 4 RBIs. He's only played in 2 of the games. And then, of course, the future Hall of Famer, Adrian Beltre, 5 RBIs of his own. Jurickson Profar taking advantage of the consistent playing time. He's done a really nice job with his 4 RBIs. And then the rookie Ronald Guzman, a couple of hits, 3 walks. Certainly good to see with him. And Delano DeShields making things happen on the bases with the bunts and the great defense. It has been a really nice run here for 3 games, something the Rangers want to continue on this road trip.
Yeah, a chance tonight to do it against Jason Hamill, who has the start for the Kansas City Royals. Rangers, meanwhile, they'll be turning to their ace, Cole Hamels, who has been outstanding lately, in particular on the road. Let's put him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Can't ask for much better weather than this tonight. Rains earlier this afternoon through the Midwest, and temperatures have dropped down into the 70s. A spectacular evening for baseball, Rangers and Royals. And we want to bring you into our Shiner Box Spotlight tonight. We're just talking about Cole Hamels. He's been outstanding on the road.
He certainly has been, and it probably shouldn't be a surprise. Veteran pitchers know how to get it done away from home, and Cole Hamels, especially over his last 4, has been very strong, and he's done it against very good lineups. You see the Astros in there, the Angels, the Dodgers as well for Cole Hamels, and it's 24 innings, just 4 earned runs. That equates to a 1.50 ERA and an unbelievable just 179 batting average against. And so the Rangers will ask him to do that tonight, and he'll do it here at Kauffman Stadium, where he has been good. Just 2 career starts for Cole Hamels in this ballpark, but they have been good ones. You see the innings pitched, no earned runs in those 2 starts, 9 strikeouts to 4 walks, and he won 1 of those games. So Cole Hamels will be back at it again tonight. Like I said, the Rangers hoping for some repeated success on the road and here in Kansas City.
All right, moments away from getting this one started tonight, and we're going to give it back to John Radigan, Mac, and Mike Bassick, and they can tell you who their picks to click might be tonight. Maybe a hint or 2 right there. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. By 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And by Budweiser. Rangers fans, this Bud's for you.
Welcome back to Kansas City as we get you set for game 2 between the Royals and the Rangers. And my friend Slugger is taking over my shot right now. Slugger, what are you doing? Going away. It's time to play ball. But we're going to talk about how the Texas offense has been really good. I know you don't want to hear that, but it starts at the top with Shin-Soo Choo. Hey, he got on base all 5 times last night. Did you see that? I did. Guys, he told me he was seeing the ball, quote, good. That might be the understatement of the year. He has the 9th highest on-base percentage in the major leagues, the 5th highest in the American League. While Elvis Andrus, who bats behind him, didn't get a hit last night. He did get on base a couple times and scored once in his return. And Choo said it just makes a huge difference to have Elvis back in the lineup. He's a smart hitter. He's a good hitter in situations, and they're a great 1-2 punch, guys, to get this team started.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you, Leslie. And you just sense the positivity around having Elvis back in the lineup today. Or yesterday and today. Well, let's get going with our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. Choo leading it off. Andrus, Mazzara, Beltre in the middle. Jurickson Profar gets the start again today at second base. Kiner Falefa at third. Chirinos catching. Guzman at first base, and Delano DeShields rounding it out in center field. All that against Jason Hamill. We got a rematch today. Hamill and Hamels.
Doesn't get any better than that.
And our first pitch delivered tonight right on time, maybe a minute late, and it has cooled down a little bit here. A lot of heavy rains through the area this afternoon, probably around I guess 2-3 o'clock. Temperatures drop precipitously. It's now back to 84 degrees here at game time. Now 1-1 on Shin-Soo Choo.
So whenever we have the Hamels matchup, I feel like we should go in and out with some MC Hammer music throughout. Seems like that. I guess it's just Hammer now.
Bouncing ball second base, and Merrifield takes care of Choo, one away.
Let's take a look at the Jason Hamill pitch arsenal. What he's done so far this year. You're going to see a lot of two-seam fastballs 40% of the time, and then the slider at 36. We refer to a guy like Jason Hamill as a sinker slider guy. That's because more than 3/4 of his pitches will be a sinker or a slider. There's a 4-seamer in there and a curveball and changeup as well. But those are the 2 predominant pitches. And high batting average against both of them. 310 against the 2-seamer, 274 against the slider. So some good news there for the Rangers.
A 1 out for Elvis Andrus, and he takes a strike from Jason Hamill. Elvis back yesterday, returning from the 60-day disabled list, the first and only time in his career. And he had been disabled. And a little tapper foul off his foot. 0-2.
He had some good at-bats yesterday. A couple of walks in there. Looked like he was seeing the ball pretty well. I mentioned just really good to have him back in that lineup, have him back at shortstop, and this lineup just looks so much different when you have Elvis Andrus in it, especially now with the way that Choo is swinging it, having him in the 2-hole in front of Mazzara and Beltre.
0 for 3 yesterday, but a couple of walks. Scored a run. He was out of action from April 12th to June 17th. Oh, better than 2 months, and he swings and misses here, and Hamill gets his first strikeout of the night.
Well, the Royals defense behind Jason Hamill tonight. We'll take a look at the outfield first, and what you'll see out there is Alex Gordon, Orlando, and Herrera. A little bit of a different look from last night with Orlando in there. And in the infield at third base, it's Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Whit Merrifield, Hunter Dozier, and now Salvador Perez behind the plate.
So 2 relatively quick outs for Jason Hamill, right-hander, 6'6", 225 pounds. And he'll get a look at Nomar Mazzara, who was great again last night. 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. Hits this ball on the ground through the shift and out into right center field, and Mazzara with a base hit here in the first inning.
Amazing to see Nomar Mazara continue to beat the shift. He had a big at-bat last night in which he drove in a run. And you'll take a look at this nice side swing here from Nomar. Hit this ball hard. It was on the ground, but he hit it firmly. And that is a traditional second base position. But no second baseman there. We mentioned this last night. The Royals' third most shifts in Major League Baseball. And I hadn't looked in a while, but I guess it was about a week or so ago where Nomar had, him and Joey Gallo were tied for the most hits lost to the shift. But at the same time, you see Nomar now, maybe things turning his way where he is beating the shift.
So he is on base for Adrian Beltre. 322 average for Beltre. He takes inside. Beltre yesterday with a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning, and he crushed it. Don't expect Mazara to be running, but Hamill checks in on him anyway.
That probably shouldn't be a surprise. How about this? Jason Hamill coming into this one. 55 throws to first base this year. We keep track of everything.
What?
That's the 3rd most in Major League Baseball.
Comebacker off of Hamill, who will pick it up and throw out Beltre, and that will end the inning. So no runs, a hit for the Rangers, and now Cole Hamels to go out and start his evening. City Royals 22-50 so far this year. Taking a look at their starting lineup. Whit Merrifield back in that top spot again tonight at second base. Paulo Orlando in center field. Mike Moustakas at third. It's Perez catching, Dozier at first, Alex Gordon in left field, then Escobar, Almonte, and Herrera at the bottom of the order for the Royals. That against Cole Hamels, 3 wins, 6 losses this year, and a 3.69 ERA. Goes right after Merrifield with strike 1. Merrifield hitting .293, 4 homers and 23 RBIs.
Here's the pitch arsenal for Cole Hamels. What he has done this year, we've talked about it a lot because there have been some changes made for the Rangers ace, and that's the use of the cutter. It has gone way up, 27% for him, and then the changeup at 21, 4-seamer at 20%. And of course, you got the curveball and 2-seam fastball as well that Cole likes to use. It has really been interesting to see what the cutter has become for Cole Hamels. You look at his last 4 years. 4 years ago, he was throwing that pitch 10% of the time. Now up to 27%. That's a big jump over a 4-year span.
So all those cutters at the expense of
fastballs. His fastball usage is down 10% from a year ago. 4-seamer down 4%. 2-seamer is down 6%.
Upstairs, it's full count now on Merrifield.
it's not an uncommon exchange. You'll see it from some guys. You get a little bit older, you start to lose something on your fastball. You're much more comfortable cutting it, throwing that cut fastball with something with a little bit more movement on it.
He misses to Merrifield, and a walk starts the bottom of the first inning.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. And in the outfield tonight, it's Jude DeShields and Nomar Mazara for the Rangers. And in that infield, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Elvis Andrus Jerks, and Profar, Ronald Guzman, and Robinson Trinos once again behind the plate.
There's Profar, second game in a row at second base after filling in for Elvis Andrus at shortstop for the last couple of months. Orlando and takes this one wildly up for ball one. Merrifield moves up to second base on the wild pitch.
Kind of interesting to see here from Cole Hamels, a couple of pitches that have gotten away from him. The pitch that he threw to Whit Merrifield to walk him on that full count went a little bit wild, and you see another one up here. And I wonder if there was some confusion, because Robinson Chirinos probably could have caught that ball. Was expecting something else or not.
That seemed to surprise him a little bit. Orlando, no need to bunt now. The runner moves up anyway. Now that one really crowds him. 2-0. And Hamels has hit 10 batters this year. That is most in the American League. And so, staying with your theme, you would say, please, Hamels, don't hurt him.
Nice.
It is Hamels time.
Did you start thinking about that one like a few days ago? Or
No,
is that
actually,
top of your head?
when you said it last inning, whatever your little hammer time joke, that's like my only hammer time line.
That was a good one.
3-0 on Orlando. Orlando, a 183 hitter. Uh-oh, there goes a runner. And the pitch, a strike, but the throw down to third, really not even necessary. Merrifield had such an enormous jump on Hamels. There was no chance for Chirinos.
He certainly did, almost if Cole Hamels kind of forgot about Merrifield and trying to get locked back in on the strike zone. And this is not something you see every day, and thinking about a guy taking off on a 3-0 pitch, and that's probably what Whit Merrifield was thinking. Cole Hamels maybe wasn't going to pay very much attention to him. He's a really good runner, and there was no chance for Robinson Chirinos to get Merrifield.
His 16th stolen base on the season, and the 9th time that he has stole third, or has stolen third. Meanwhile, another strike to Orlando, and it's a full count. This will be Hamels' 12th pitch already. A walk of Merrifield. And the payoff. Swing and a miss. Strike three. So he strikes out Orlando, and that's a great job coming back from a 3-0 count to get him.
Excellent job there by Cole Hamels. You're a little bit concerned when you see him struggling with the command, but he gets into that 3-2 count. It looked like he threw the cutter below the zone, and he gets Orlando to go after it. Yeah, you see the late movement there. Nice job by Cole Hamels, taking advantage of Orlando being a little bit aggressive.
So one away, and Mike Moustakas, 5th in the league with 47 RBIs, 13 homers. He takes one in. The infield also in. Everybody up on the grass to try and cut down Merrifield on a ground ball.
Not a bad idea. You look at Mike Moustakas hitting just .225 against lefties. Cole Hamels has done a nice job against lefties this year and over the course of his career, and so you start thinking about maybe that cutter away, run the two-seam fastball in, things that would induce weak contact. Now that one got away from him as he was trying to go down and away, and Cole Hamels looking down at his hand, maybe struggling a little bit with grip tonight, as we've seen a couple get away from him. It makes sense left on left to bring the infield in. One out.
Moustakas had a sac fly yesterday, also a base hit. Working on a little 4-game hitting streak. 2-1 the count. And Moustakas, when you break down his home road numbers, man, I mean, you would think he was a Colorado Rocky, although they've been kind of inversed this year in Colorado, but he's hitting .285 here at home, 47 points higher than he hits on the road. So it feels certainly a lot more comfortable here. Takes one low. It's 3-1. No doubt the calming effect of the water features and the fountains.
Sure. Season can be stressful, but you come here, especially if you can hear that sound right there. Put on some massage music and it's over.
Oh. Here's the 3-1. And a bouncer foul. Another full count. So he's got full count now on the first 3 hitters of the game. Not an easy first inning for Hamels. But he's 1 pitch away from taking care of Moustakas, which would be a very big out right here. Bruce Dreckman, our plate umpire, signaling for time. And everybody resets. That's off the plate, ball 4. Second walk already issued by Hamels. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that the man coming to the plate, Salvador Perez, has hit into 11 double plays this year. That's 3rd most in the American League. And so if Hamels can get him to put one on the ground, he can be out of this inning just like that.
Could be pretty quickly. You got to be careful here. First pitch, of course, with Salvador Perez, not afraid to go hacking, but with Cole Hamels and the usage of his off-speed pitches this year, it really could work into his advantage with maybe a first pitch cutter or a changeup.
This one in the air and foul territory, first base side. That one into the seats. Strike 1 on Salvador Perez. 227 average, but 11 home runs for Perez. He had a single last night in the 5th inning. And he was spiraling just a little bit in that series against Houston. Fell into an 0 for 14, but snapped out of it. 3 hits in his last 8 at bats. But there's that ground ball. Andrews to second. 1, and the throw off the first in time for the double play.
Well, good job by Cole Hamels. Gets the job done. 11th ground ball double play that he has induced this year. And I'm not sure it could have been any easier for Elvis Andrus and Jerks and Profar.
Appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
No score. And we go to the 2nd inning. Profar, Kiner Falefa, and Chirinos due for the Rangers. And Jason Hamill, boy, he was sharp in the 1st inning. His first one, though, way up out of the zone on Profar. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Profar at 239 with 8 home runs. Takes that one a little bit high as well, 2-0. Jurickson batting 5th today. Initially was in the lineup at third base, but with the late change by Jeff Bannister, Profar moved to second. He takes a strike, it's 2-1.
And this is really what you get with Jurickson Profar, the opportunity to put him in different positions. And look what he's done over the course of his career. This is games played throughout the infield. Obviously, shortstop has been the predominant position, but a lot of action everywhere, including left field. And Jeff Bannister loves having that opportunity.
Well, this one skied way up there. Salvador Perez, a very late start, but he won't get to it anyway.
I was pretty surprised. I was like, wow, he's really confident that that's not coming back.
Right?
I mean, how many times do you see a catcher at least give a look, and even if the ball's 20 rows back, they're there a little bit? And I'm like, man, that's not an automatic. It's probably out, but wow, he's really confident. And actually, no, he just didn't know where the ball was. You get to this time of night, of course, a little bit as it starts to get a little bit darker, and sometimes you need a little bit of help. And it's a good job by Jason Hamill to at least let him know. That's part of the pitcher's job. Once you throw the pitch doesn't mean you're done. Help out your catcher on that pop-up.
This ball hit hard out to right field. Herrera reaches up and he'll make the catch. Wow. That thing looked like it might just get over his head and go for extra bases, but he got just enough reach to pull it in.
This ball was smoked by Jurickson Profar, and even though he didn't get a hit, he's got to be happy with the at-bat and the contact right here. Take a look at this thing as he was all over. Just a little bit of topspin that kept it down, that gave Herrera that opportunity to pull it in. Had he been able to get a little backspin on that ball, and that without a doubt would have been in the Royals bullpen.
So one away, and here is Kiner Falefa, who takes one inside.
But do you find it interesting that Kiner Falefa to third, even though Jurickson was originally scheduled to play third, then they go Jurickson to second? And so is Jeff Bannister kind of tipping his hand a little bit as far as how he feels about defensive positioning, and does he feel stronger for Jurickson at second as opposed to third? I mean, Isaiah's been great at third.
And he smashes this one past third and down that left field line. Kiner Falefa will cruise to second base with a one-out double. Yeah, I think it's hard to deny that Kiner Falefa has been great defensively at third. I think Profar looks really good up the middle.
I would agree with that. And how about Isaiah getting an opportunity, originally thinking he wasn't going to be in the lineup, and first at bat he smokes the ball down the left field line, because now with his playing time situation going to be a little bit more checkered. And so good to see him come right in there and drive that one past Mike Moustakas. Get that one out double.
So all man in scoring position. Robinson Chirinos, a 191 average so far this year, in at the right side. Robbie starts behind the plate again tonight, and the plan was that he would have tomorrow off. We'll see if that ends up playing out that way or not. Hit by a pitch again yesterday. Was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And ahead here, 2-0. Talked to Chirinos today before the ball game about that ball that hit him in the neck last night. That's the second day in a row that he had been struck in the neck.
Goodness.
I said, so where does that, rank among the various ways that you can really be dinged up? He said, that's pretty much the worst.
I can imagine. Throw punch by a baseball.
It's this ball well down the left field line, but foul. 2-1. Then he showed me the mark that was still there on his neck.
My goodness.
Ugh. So I asked him, I said, would you ever think about, have you ever worn one of those little neck protectors that dangles off there?
Yeah, like the umpire?
Yeah. And he said, I'd never done it. I said, well, he said, yeah, then
Starting to think about
it. Yeah.
I'll lend him my Polish scarf from the World Cup if he wants it.
Sure, that would help. 3 balls and a strike on Chirinos. This was last night.
Did a great job of putting himself in position. The only thing he didn't do was get his head down. You're supposed to look down a little bit. Everything else was perfect by Robinson Chirinos, and just some bad luck that that's where the ball ended up hitting him.
Well, he pointed out, he said the problem was that it hit so far in front of the plate. He said, I can't duck my head.
Oh, really?
Right? He said, you know, you
Interesting.
tuck your chin like you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
You tuck your chin when you're ready to block. He said, but it was so far out. If I tuck my chin, I have no idea where the ball is.
Good
He says,
point.
I'm still looking for it.
That's interesting, and that makes a lot of sense because the short hop one, no problem, right?
Yeah.
But the one that's a long hop,
I mean, that was like a
got to
foot
still
from
see
the
the ball.
plate.
Yeah, you still got to be able to see the baseball.
So he's had a tough little run lately. But battling here, 3-2. Deep counts rather early for both starting pitchers. Like Jason Hamill, his 15th start of the year. He's 3-2. That's high. So his first walk of the night. The Rangers have a couple of base runners. Check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, guys, the last time Isaiah played, he scored, of course, that game-winning run. And here it is. He was on second base when Jose Trevino hit this. Now, 1 out, and look at him go. He said they talk about aggressive base running all the time, but in this instance, he said basically it was just a read. I knew where the shortstop and the left fielder were, and Jose is one of my closest friends, and I just wanted it for him. So he said, I went all out, and hey, it worked.
He certainly did, and that's one of those plays where if you're going to take that chance, you just go all the way in. You don't want to go halfway at that point. And he had a good read on the ball, and he felt good about it and cashed it in for what was a great moment for Jose Trevino. Nice moment for the Rangers, but certainly for him in his first series that he played in the big leagues, and ended it extremely well on a high note.
Guzman takes on the corner, 1-1 to count. Guzman batting 8th tonight, .220 average with 7 home runs.
And a little bit better in these situations, .264 with runners in scoring position. That's always encouraging. And obviously the 220 is a little bit lower than he wants it to be, but in the big spots he's been really good. 20 RBIs with runners in scoring position as well.
What a great rookie year it has been so far for Ronald Guzman. Chance to drive in some big runs here. Scoreless game early on. Three and one. So he should get something really good to hit here. You look at what he has done among American League rookies. His 29 RBIs trail only Gleyber Torres of the Yankees, who has 34. This ball smashed but foul.
You would think you got a couple of veterans here tonight in Cole Hamels and Jason Hamill, and if we were to just look at their strike percentages, you would think, wow, it must be a really tight zone tonight, but I don't think that's necessarily been the case. Jason Hamill so far 54% strikes. Cole Hamels just 45% strikes. League average usually right around 63. So both of these guys off to slow start so far, right at filling up the strike zone.
Payoff to Guzman. That's inside. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Loads him up.
Jose's made some, Ronald Guzman's made some really good improvements in that pitch right there. I know it's a 3-2 count. Looks like it's way in the dirt, but we mentioned how good he has been with runners in scoring position. He wants to drive those runs in. He doesn't want to walk. He'll take it, but he wants to drive the runs in. And we have seen him chase that slider from right-handed pitchers down and in. We've seen him start to get better and better at laying off that pitch. It's a good at-bat for him.
So runners everywhere. Kiner Falefa third, Torino second, Guzman at first. And with 1 out, here is Delano DeShields. He takes high. DeShields, don't look now, but he has a 12-game on-base streak. 2 for 4 yesterday as the Royals will burn a mound visit here. Stock is coming over from third, joining Salvador Perez.
And a good time to do it. Maybe slow Jason Hamill down a little bit. You see him struggling. He got under that fastball and sailed on him a little bit. We saw him overthrow the breaking pitch. We saw him miss against Robinson Chirinos as well. And so he's trying to find himself right now. The consistency of the arm slot and the release point not there here early on.
Delano's last 7 games, he's hitting .417 now. 10 hits in 24 at bats. Seems to have turned the corner a little bit. Bases loaded, corners in a little. And he hits this ball sharply into left field. That's a base hit. Kiner Falefa's in. Chirinos will score. Guzman lumbers to third. And Delano DeShields drives in the first 2 runs of the game with his double. Rangers score first tonight.
A good job by Delano there. You see a couple of walks and you think, oh, should you take a strike? Absolutely not. Not with the bases loaded, and the Royals got burned a little bit. You're going to see this pitch, a little two-seam fastball that sits middle, but look where Escobar is. Kind of halfway, caught in between is where they wanted him playing, and he got burned because of it as Delano smokes that ball into left center field. And good job here by the Rangers.
Couple of good at bats, creates a great offensive situation, and now second and third, still 1 out. And Chu fouls off a strike. Delano starting to catch up with Chu in terms of who's the hottest hitter right now. Chu certainly for the longer stretch now. But another base hit for DeShields. And a big one. Middle of the infield about halfway in, and now Chu fights it off to the other side. 0-2. Chu was on 5 times last night, which matched a Rangers season high. Guzman also did it earlier this year, late May, up in Seattle. Chu has reached in 32 straight. 0-2 pitch. And misses low. Well, a lot of the numbers turning the right direction for Chu. His on base average now 5th in the league at .394. Did he go? Oh, he did, according to our crew chief and third base umpire Alfonso Marquez. Rings him up, 2 away.
Some frustration there for Chu. This fastball was up above the zone, and we know the kind of discipline that he has, and Jeff Bannister certainly not thrilled about this call. Let's take a look, and yeah, it's borderline, but I don't think he went. And it's interesting too, because did Salvador Perez ask for that? Because we did not see the original call made there. I didn't think Bruce Dreckman asked for it originally. Salvador Perez tried to encourage him to get the check, and I think that's why Banny was frustrated with the call.
Goes up to Andrews now. Whoa. He took another one of those last night, very similar, up and in like that.
See the frustration there for Elvis Andrews. One, because obviously the injury last night as well. You mentioned that he caught a pitch up and in, and Jason Hamill, the veteran, right now struggling with his command. And Elvis Andrews is happy to be back. He does not want to be on that DL again.
It's just one up the middle and smothered out there by Merrifield. What a throw to first. And he gets Elvis Andrews. And boy, does he save his pitcher, Jason Hamill. That looked for all the world like it was going to count for 2 more. But the Rangers leave a pair. Delano DeShields brought home the first 2 tonight with a double into left center. And the Rangers, after an inning and a half, have the early lead. Cole Hamels back out to work here in the second inning, and we're going to look at Hunter Dozier, Alex Gordon, and Alcides Escobar. Hamels used 20 pitches in the first inning and threw more balls than strikes, but got out of it with a big double play. And now a chance to see if he can settle things down just a little bit.
You certainly expect that from Cole, to kind of be able to figure it out. You saw him struggling with some of that command early on, but he made the big pitch to finish off the inning and kind of anticipate that he'll be able to catch a group. But then you have those nights as well. We've seen it from even good veterans and all-star caliber pitchers where you just fight yourself trying to figure it out, do what you got to do to keep your team in the game.
Fairly common though, right, that a guy, if he's going to have that wonky inning, it'll be his first inning, and then if teams don't get to him, he can settle in, especially veteran experienced guys who've had a lot of success. That can oftentimes be the theme.
So that one start from Cole, right? Was it his first start of the year where he lost it for the inning after that little collision at first base, right? Walked 3 guys. It was just a 1 inning, but was able to bounce back. Certainly expect that from him. But then you have your off nights. You know, Garrett Cole, as good as he has been, walked 5 yesterday. His game struggled a little bit, but you hang in there, you find a way. He still went 7 innings and threw 116 pitches.
A little bit in on Dozier, 1 and 2. And Garrett Cole actually having a bit of a tough month in July for the Astros. 1-2 pitch, and that one is tight. So 2 and 2. Book tells you a little bit. One thing for Hamels, he got a much better night in terms of weather than he would have been anticipating. You expect to get the heat like we had last night, and the humidity can get up there a little bit here in Kansas City. But we had some rain today that helped. Didn't help the humidity, but it helped the temperature.
It can get downright brutal here in the summer. Back in the day when they had the turf here, get absurdly hot on the field.
A full count now to Dozier.
Kind of interesting that both of these guys seem like they're going through the same exact issue, right? Trying to get it figured out, getting under the fastball a little bit, not quite a feel for the breaking ball.
Payoff pitch, and another foul ball. Hamels has gone to a full count now on 4 of the 5 hitters he has faced. So you think that could be maybe a little bit of the humidity and just not getting a feel for that, the baseball?
I mean, it's possible. Generally, this is pretty good weather to pitch in. Your body feels pretty good. But, you know, we saw Cole Hamels kind of look down at his hands, so maybe sweating a little bit more and having a little bit of an issue with grip. You know, there'll be times, I'm not saying this is happening tonight, but there'll be times where the balls aren't rubbed up necessarily the way that you would like them to be.
He gets a swing and a miss by Dozier, his second strikeout of the night.
Good job by Cole Hamels to go to something else there, and it was the changeup in a full count. It locates it at the bottom of the zone, and then it just kind of fades below the zone at the end, and he gets Dozier to chase that, finish him off, get that first out. But there are those times where balls get rubbed up, and you just feel like it wasn't a good run for the guys running the balls up. More often than not, that means for pitchers that there wasn't enough of that Mississippi mud put on there.
I was going to say they're skimping, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. One out, and Alex Gordon, left-handed hitter, takes a strike. 1-1. 254 average for Gordon. 5 home runs this year. He had a hit yesterday. So ball game yesterday where both teams were doing a lot offensively. 17 combined hits. Gordon has come around a little bit for this Royals team. It's such a struggle for him. And a bouncing ball right side of the infield, profile right there, and throws out Gordon. 2 away. Well, this Monday, June 25th, Rangers back home, and they will begin a series against the Padres. The first 15,000 fans get a Rangers tumbler courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. Tickets are available at texasrangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So here's Alcides Escobar now. Hamels gets that first one in against Escobar, who was 1 for 4 yesterday. And even though he had a hit yesterday, he has been in a major scuffle. 3 hits in his last 48 at-bats.
It's been a good run here for Escobar as far as what he has meant to the squad, especially during their postseason runs. You see the overall year this year. I was actually kind of surprised they brought him back, and they brought him back on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. He was a free agent. He had spent, I guess it was since 2011 he had been a member of the Kansas City Royals, so they bring him back for an 8th year in this uniform. But he's always been a low on-base percentage guy. He has not seen anything higher than 293 since 2014. That is 4 straight years, including this one, where he has been sub 300 on the on base.
He strikes out here to complete a 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. Hamels with 3 strikeouts in the first 2 frames. Maybe got himself back on track there in the second. Rangers lead 2-0. We get going here in the third. Nomar Mazara, our TXU Energy power player to watch, leading things off. You see at this ballpark, he's had some success, a 444 average with a home run.
Comfortable here. You mentioned it earlier with Mike Moustakas and how much better he has been home than away. Well, Nomar, a guy that has done well here, and it's not that surprising. You know, he is not a high launch angle guy. He's more of a line drive hitter, even though he's got power. There's big gaps here. This is one of the bigger outfields in all of baseball, so it makes some sense. Even though defensively they cover a lot of ground and have covered a lot of ground in the outfield with the Royals. And soothing fountains, of course.
Yes, I think there's something to it. This ball hit well and into center field. Base hit for Mazara. This takes a big turn, but a single starts the third inning, and he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Those numbers will go up for Nomar Mazara, and it's just that easy, smooth swing that he has. Short to the ball, doesn't get too big, doesn't get much of an uppercut at all. It's really level, and I mean, you look at a pitch like that, pretty good pitch that's down, and you hear all this conversation about getting the ball in the air. You try to get that ball in the air, and you're going to be in trouble. It's the line drives that still bring a ton of value to the game. It's amazing whenever we hear someone talk about not trying to hit line drives. JD Martinez is a great hitter. He says he just wants to hit the ball in the air. He doesn't want to hit line drives. Now, it's hard to argue with the year he's having and what he's done over the last couple of years in his career. I'm thinking line drives still play.
I would think so. But you were also pointing out to me the other day that his ground ball percentage is way up, oddly enough.
Highest of his career. He's out. What do I want to hit the ball on the ground for? His fly ball percentage, lowest of his successful run in his career. Ground ball percentage, the highest.
Hard ground ball third baseman Stockton starts a would-be double play, but the relay throw brings Dozier off the bag. Beltre is safe. That was going to be a tough double play to turn. Merrifield's throw, it's just a little off the mark at first.
Well, we saw Merrifield make a really good play last inning, and this one, as you mentioned, was going to take some work. You were going to go all the way around the horn. Now, if the throw was on line, they probably would have had him, but he tried to rush that throw with Nomar Mazara bearing in on him and knowing that there probably was going to be some contact. So tried to get rid of the ball quickly, and that caused the throw to go up the line.
Yesterday it was Mondesi at second base on a turn, and he threw one wildly off the mark. Today Merrifield rushes that one a little bit, and so here's Profar with a man on. Profar really stung the ball in the second inning, lined out to deep right field. Salvi Perez playing a little game there with Beltre.
I don't know what is going on exactly.
Trying to deke him into something.
A little fun. Everybody loves to play with Adrian Beltre, opponent or teammate, always having a little bit of fun with him on the field, and AB's always happy to oblige. He's in.
Good shift on against Profar. He takes outside.
So I know you were amazed at the stat that I threw out at you, the 55 throws over to first base for Jason Hamill. I'll watch every game and go count them, just make sure I got them right. But so 55 for Hamill coming into this game. The leader by far in the clubhouse, Aaron Nola, has thrown over to first base 89 times this year. Number 2 is Tyler Anderson at 58. So he has thrown over 31 more times than the next highest player has, Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Now, the corresponding question is, what are the stolen base numbers against Nola?
You ask a lot of questions.
You provide such good answers. Up and away. That's ball 4. 4-pitch walk. So Beltre goes to second. Profar is on. We will take a Chevy game break. Let's say hello once again to John Radigan. Yeah, they seem to be hitting stride right now. The Dodgers came into play 2 games back of Arizona. Now Kiner Falefa takes strike 1 from Hamill. Beltre second, Profar at first. Isaiah had the double last inning. It's this ball sharply down the third baseline. That's going to be another double. Beltre will score easily. Profar digging for third. They'll stop him. Kiner Falefa with his second double of the night, and he makes it 3-0 Rangers.
How about Isaiah Kiner Falefa taking advantage of an opportunity that he probably didn't think he was going to get tonight. Hits his 12th double of the season, and the second one down the left field line. Both of these, good job there. Look at that ball. That is in off the plate with some run on a 2-seam fastball, and he keeps his hands in. That's the only place he can hit that ball hard, is right down the line. Jason Hamill was kind of hoping that was going to be called foul, but it was a fair ball.
So Profar at third, Kiner Falefa at second now for Robinson Chirinos. Field in. Ooh, Robbie going after it. Chirinos walked and scored last inning. Last night's game, and we showed you the ball that hit him in the neck last night. Rounds this ball down to third. Mustakis off his glove. And everybody's going to be safe. One run is in. Kiner Falefa's being waved. Here comes a throw, and he is out. Great recovery out there in short left field by Escobar to throw out Kiner Falefa. Some aggressive base running. Rangers will have to settle for one run on the play.
Little bit of a hesitation here. First, you're going to see the ball hit by Robinson Chirinos, who was over the plate more than they wanted it, but he hit the ball hard. But Mike Moustakas is a guy that certainly expects to make this play. But I think what Tony Beasley saw was that Escobar's back was to the play and thinking maybe they could catch him off guard. But there was a slight hesitation from Isaiah. I think he was surprised that Tony sent him, and he ends up getting thrown out there. Tries to get around the tag, but unable to do so.
So now Chirinos out there by himself. That is an error on Moustakas. No RBI for Chirinos. Guzman, who walked in the second inning.
Not surprising, because Profar would have scored anyway. Right? If he catches that ball and throws it to first, he's going to score.
The base hit up the middle by Guzman. Chirinos drops anchor at second. Yeah, I agree. Might be. Well, I mean, unless he's going to come to the plate. Unless the argument is he's going to grab it and try and make a play at the plate.
But those are assumptions you can never make on non-forced plays, right?
Put out the plate was 6-2, but yeah, I think that's a fair observation, and it might change. The Shields now. Here's a guy. Talked about it last time he was up. He really seems to be back in that groove all of a sudden. It kind of happened quickly. The average had dipped so low that I think at times you might not notice the fact that a guy's getting his bat back in that groove again, because with all the great work that he has done lately, he's gotten the average back up to 228 coming into play today. But it was down as low as 202 prior to this little 7-game run for him.
So moving around the order, of course, for Delino. Lead off to 9-2 and back to 9. And you always would say, okay, well, guys should be able to hit regardless of what position he is in. But it's always a little bit unsettling. You're not quite sure where you're going to be. But I love when he is in this spot. And the Rangers have a couple of good options for the 9-hole. With Delino, of course, that basically gives you a leadoff hitter in front of Chu when he's actually leading off. And then we've seen Ronald Guzman down in the 9 spot doing some damage this year for the Rangers as well.
1-2 pitch.
Well, I got the answer you're looking for on Aaron Nola. And you were wondering about all those throws over to first base, 89 of them this year. 31 more than the next closest guy. Well, he's allowed 14 stolen bases this year, and that is tied for the most in Major League Baseball.
Oh, so he's throwing over for a reason, but maybe not with great effect.
It's not working out too well.
Shields bounces this one third base. Backhand pick by Moustakas. Nice play. He forces out Chirinos to win the inning. But the Rangers add 2 more, and Isaiah Kiner Falefa driving in another one with his second double of the night. It's 4-0. inning. And Cole Hamels, our Kubota power stats tonight. A lefty since his debut in 2006. But there's only 3 pitchers in the game with at least 150 wins, at least 2,000 innings pitched rather, and at least 2,300 strikeouts, and Hamels one of them. Verlander and Felix Hernandez the other 2.
It's a pretty good company right there. A couple of really good right-handers who have had nice runs, and nobody doubts the work that Cole Hamels has done over the time in his career. He's been consistent. He's been a winner. He's a guy that you can count on for 30+ starts, 200+ innings. That got interrupted last year for the first time in, what, 9 years, I believe it was, for Hamels. And he's been a stud and a guy that's been able to stay healthy through that entire time.
Just misses the outside corner. The count 1-1. Yeah, that was part of the problem last year for Hamels. One of the rare times where injuries were an issue for him. Bunt goes foul. 1-2 to Almonte.
Probably not a bad idea. You see the overall numbers for Almonte. They get even worse against left-handed pitching. Just an .091 batting average so far this season, and we saw him a little frustrated last night in his at-bats. And the idea of maybe trying to reach via the bunt to get something going for him. Terrible idea at all.
Swinging here and sends this one into the seats, foul. Almonte, the DH today, batting 8th and hitting 183. Yesterday, the Royals DH was Whit Merrifield, their leadoff hitter and second baseman usually. This one popped up foul again. Again ends up with the fans.
And center fielder for Merrifield. Kind of interesting to see. You know, after the defensive play that we just saw him make, it's surprising that they would ever DH him, quite honestly, because as far as what he brings to the table with the glove, whether it be in center field or at second base.
Pitch on the way, and Almonte takes high, 2-2.
But that conversation that's been floating around, Rob Manfred has brought it up, universal DH. And I think it's one that is absolutely worth having in the game when you start talking about your designated hitters, not just that you're adding sluggers, but the ability to give guys days off.
Little roller up the middle. Andrews cuts it off and throws out Almonte, one away.
So good news here so far for Cole Hamels. You see the 4 runs that the Rangers have scored. Well, his run support has been the second worst in the American League this year, 2.74 runs per game for Cole. And you dig in a little bit deeper, 11 of his 14 starts, the Rangers have scored 2 or less runs for him. And so it has been a little bit of a struggle in that regard. Over his last 4 starts, not counting this one tonight, he has received a total of 4 runs of support. So he's certainly happy to get 4 in this game alone.
It must feel a little weird.
I don't know what to do with all those runs.
Goes after Herrera now, the right fielder, 9th place hitter.
So you in or out universal DH?
No, I don't like it, but you know, it's just me. There's a line drive, base hit by Herrera. First to the night for the Royals. So they have a base runner here in this 3rd inning.
Good at bat by Herrera, jumping on a fastball that came back over the plate a little bit more. Cole was trying to get this thing to stay on the outer 3rd, but caught a little bit more middle, and a nice line drive up the middle for Herrera. Well, our commissioner made it seem like we're getting a little bit closer to that becoming a reality, and I just think that there's that advantage. We see it all the time here. The Rangers use it really well. I mean, think about where the Rangers would be right now without the DH and Adrian Beltre, right? And the ability, when I say a day off, but still keep a guy in your lineup.
Merrifield pops this one up near first base. Profar calling off Guzman. 2 away. I think that's a great argument, right? Is it you can keep playing Beltre, and really, I mean, you can work around a lot of different issues on a team. I get it, and I definitely think, you know, people have been saying this for a long time, right? That there's, if you look in the crystal ball and you look ahead, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years, you have to expect that if it's going one way or the other, it's going to universal DH.
Without a doubt. Can't go the other way. That would be giving up 15 big league jobs. The union Major League Baseball Players Association would fight that.
I sure would like to see them hold on to the pitcher hitting in the National League.
So I did a little research on that. We were talking about it last week and going back to 2000. You know, of course, the pitcher numbers are brutal, right? They're hitting 150 since 2000. They've hit about 180 home runs. That's cool. But DHs are hitting 251 with over 3,000 home runs in that time. And it's an issue as far as what's happening with offense right now. And I think that's part of it. Rob Manfred's a little bit concerned about offenses.
Runner goes, throw down to second, one hopper, not in time, and Herrera has his first stolen base.
It's been a little bit of an issue for the Rangers this year. Robinson Chirinos has thrown out just 2 of 34 coming into this one tonight. Excuse me, 2 of 35. And more often than not, we do talk about those stolen bases coming off the pitcher. Herrera's got some good wheels and just got ahead of that throw.
Jeff Bannister having a little verbal exchange with Bruce Dreckman, our plate umpire.
You wanted some interference there?
Could be. It's all good. 2-0 to Orlando and a swing and a miss.
There's that really good cutter, and that has been a big difference for Cole Hamels. I mentioned the usage over the last 4 years. 4 years ago, throwing that pitch just 10% of the time. Throwing it in a 2-0 count when you know a hitter is probably sitting and looking fastball. That late cut, a lot of times it's going to be a swing and a miss or a weak contact with a foul tip right back down on your foot.
Orlando struck out in the first inning. Comes up empty here. It's 2-2. So I think a lot of arguments against a universal DH are usually tied to just emotional interest or attraction, whatever, to a game that maybe you grew up watching, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I've always, you know, it's always been a thing. I've always enjoyed it. But I will say the one argument that I like, and I stumbled on it last year, 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Orlando strikes out to end the inning. You're just going to have to wait.
I can't wait
for my argument. We played 3. Rangers lead it 4-0. What do we have here? See if you listen. If you get a chance, CJ, you mind running down and grabbing a couple of those?
What do we got here? Margaritas?
Limeade, maybe?
Like a lemonade limeade? Non-alcoholic? I'm more fascinated by that machine. That looks super
fun. A little
fun.
press? Yeah, you like that?
That looks a lot of fun.
2 leading off the inning. Lifts one in the air out to left. Not going to carry for him, though.
Put your microphone in it.
How dare you? One away. Carter Blood Care and the Texas Rangers are teaming up to save lives this year. Give on Monday, July 2nd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Globe Light Park. You can get a tour, T-shirts, 2 Rangers tickets. Sign up today. CarterBloodCare.org. One away. And it brings up Elvis Andrus. So here's my argument.
State your case.
For the pitcher hitting. Were it not for pitchers hitting, it's likely we would never have been treated to Babe Ruth. He would have just been pitching and pitching.
Yep.
He would never got a chance to hit.
Yeah, but the
and
best hitting
know.
pitcher right now doesn't hit when he pitches.
Yeah, well, he's in the wrong league. Bouncer third base, backhand stop Moustakas. Boy, he's had a busy night. Throws out Andrus, 2 away.
But Ohtani could pitch when he, hit when he pitches, and they could use somebody else as the DH. They're allowed to do that. They
Sure.
don't have to have a DH.
No.
It's just the option that you have. And even the Angels won't do that with the best hitting pitcher in the game right now. Listen, I love watching like Madison Bumgarner take Clayton Kershaw deep. That's super fun to watch. That's cool. But there is an offensive issue right now. And this is the honest truth. I worry about competitive balance too to some degree, right? Gardo's a good hitting pitcher. We've seen it before. It's a lot of fun, but competitive balance matters. And as guys get a little bit older, hit into the free agent market or the trade market, there's certain guys you have to stay away from if you don't have DH at bats that you can offer them. The value's not there.
Sure,
right?
no, I get it. Empirically, I get it. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to come down to jobs, and it's going to come down to more offense and all those things. And you can't. There's no argument against those.
Yeah.
Right? You can't beat that. But there's some merit to the all-round athlete. This ball smashed into right field. Mazara is 3 for 3 again tonight after a 3-hit day yesterday. And the big chill's just locked in at the moment.
It certainly is. I really do love watching Nomar Mazara hit, especially when he gets on these kind of streaks, because he's just different than what we see from so many hitters right now. That good level swing, I mentioned it last time, hard line drive, beating the shift. That's what 3 of his last 4 hits where he has beat the shift. Really good job by Nomar. A lot to learn, I think, from watching him, and we're watching him kind of mature. We forget how young he is, of course, in this entire process, but it's a really mature approach to how Nomar Mazara treats his at-bats. And he's only 23 years old.
Crazy.
When you think about it, had he gone to, if he was born here in the States and went to college and got drafted, he'd be like in his 2nd year of pro ball, hoping to crack a big league roster. But his path has been 3rd year in the big leagues when he turns 23 and an impact bat in the middle of the lineup.
Beltre is 0 for 2 today. Reached on a fielder's choice last time up. Takes a little high. Now, when he hit that ball, Mazara, just a moment ago, afterward you said, beat the shift. And so, does bring up a fair question, which has been posed to me. When we say beating the shift, we mean that it goes through the shift and beat it anyway? Or do we mean that you go the other way, away from the shift?
Well, it's a good point, because that's a base hit regardless, right? So that actually probably should not count as a shift beater.
Pop up into foul territory and tucked away by Dozier. The inning is over. So Rangers can't add to their lead, but they'll take a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 4th. the lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Wednesday, June 27th, the Rangers and Padres. And it's a Texas Chili Company dollar hot dog night. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Only time the Padres are in town. And of course, $1 hot dogs. Can't beat that. So come out and see us, June 27th. Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez, and Hunter Dozier this inning for Kansas City. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Cole Hamels settled in a little bit since that first inning. He's allowed just the 1 hit so far. Moustakas takes off the plate, 1-1. Moustakas, one of 2 Royal hitters who walked in that first inning when Hamels was still trying to get a feel for the baseball. Ball's behind here, 1-2. And then Moustakas was doubled up. Bouncing ball right side, and Profar takes care of Moustakas, 1 away. Gives us a little break here. How about a word from our friends at Southwest Kia?
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
So since Perez rolled into that double play in the first inning, only 1 Royal has reached. And so here he is again for the 2nd time tonight. Takes down the middle for a strike.
Salvador Perez, definitely a guy that you could put that right-handed shift on, right? We don't see that very often against lefties. He has put just 3% of the balls in play to the right side of the field. 3%.
What?
Yeah. That's the lowest in all of baseball. So I'm thinking you have to have a first baseman there. Although I think Cole Hamels could beat him to first. But I mean, you know, listen, the Rangers shift a decent amount, and you actually see where Delino was shaded to right center. He seems like an ideal candidate to have 3 infielders on the left side. And we don't see it too often, right? Albert Pujols is a guy where you see a right-handed hitter get that pull shift, and you'll even see sometimes the infielders kind of deep. Shortstop go deep into the outfield because Albert doesn't run particularly well. Either does Salvador Perez, but I wouldn't lie to you. 3%. League average is 33%. And I'm rounding up. It's 2.9 according to Inside Edge, and I trust them.
Well, that seems, quite honestly, almost impossibly low.
34 balls he's put in play against left-handers this year. Remember, he's struggling against left-handers, so he's probably not putting the ball in play very often either. He's hitting just 200 against lefties this year. Only 1 of them has he hit the other way.
This one he yanks foul. Perez this year has been playing other positions outside of catcher a little more often. We saw it when they came through town in May. Played a little first base, taps that one foul. It stays 2-2. He's made 10 starts at first base since he came back off the disabled list. He's also DHs occasionally.
Tough spot to be in, right? Because he throws the ball so well behind the plate, but he's a big-bodied catcher. He's taken on a ton of innings. You worry about his health. You want him in the lineup. They extended his deal. Was that last year or 2 years ago? His contract. You want to keep him healthy over that time. That means probably some first base and DH.
Lifts this one in the air out to right field. Mazzara is there. 2 gone. Take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. We'll wrap up the series tomorrow night here, weather permitting. The same time, 7:15 start in the Central Time Zone. And then tomorrow, or rather Thursday, will be a day off in Minnesota for a weekend series against the Twins. Day games on Saturday and Sunday. Then it's back home for a nice little homestand. This is a good portion of the schedule for the Rangers. They have won 3 straight and a chance today to put up their longest winning streak of the year. Little bouncer left side, cut off by Kiner Falefa. He throws out Hunter Dozier to complete a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th inning. With 4 in the books, Cole Hamels and the Rangers lead it 4-0.
Kansas City, and Jurickson Profar steps up to the plate. Someone who has had an incredible month in June. 5 of his 8 home runs have come in this month alone. He said it's definitely by far his best month in the majors. I asked him why. He said purely repetition, that he has gotten better because he's been able to play longer, that he's seeing more big league pitching, getting to know the different leagues, how pitchers are going to pitch to him, guys, and just that repetition really helps.
It certainly does, and it's good to hear him too. It's one thing to go out and play and get consistent reps and at-bats. Every hitter will tell you it's extremely important, but then also, what are you learning from that? And are you kind of cataloging, whether you're writing it down the way that a guy like Isaiah or Delino DeShields does, right in the book, and those guys, or whether you're doing it mentally, whatever works best for you. But that's a big part of the process, not just getting in there and seeing the league, but are you taking in the information, learning from it, adjusting accordingly, maybe anticipating a little bit more? It certainly does appear that Jurickson Profar has been doing that.
Hit a ball hard earlier tonight in the 2nd inning, and then he walked in the 3rd. One pitch, no, little high. Only Mitch Haniger has had more game-winning RBIs this year than Profar. By the way, that pitch was a strike. Profar with 9 of them. Haniger with 11. Used to be you could read that stat in the box score in the newspaper in the morning, but then they went away from it. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, now we were talking about earlier, but that is a game-winning RBI you can get any time in the game, right? It is the RBI that takes the lead.
1-0 game, and you hit the home run in the 1st inning. You got the game-winning RBI.
I'd like to see that maybe 5th inning or beyond.
I agree. Maybe even later than that.
Yeah.
Then I think it's a little more interesting. So you could have a game where there is no game-winning RBI per se.
Yeah.
Right. As we would define it. Let's say 6th inning, 7th inning on. Now, when you're talking about having a game-winning RBI, that means, the way I would like to think of it, you were the guy who came up clutch late in the game.
Yep. Gave your team the lead, they held on. I'm with you.
There was a guy who played here who was pretty good at that. George Brett just seemed like it anyway. As that one is inside. Ball 4 to Profar, and a leadoff walk in this 5th inning. And I know there's no stat. There's no, apparently, I've been told over the years that there is no such thing as clutch.
Oh.
But boy, oh boy, I sure felt like when I was a kid, George Brett was pretty darn clutch.
It absolutely exists, and that's a conversation that's kind of gone back and forth between the old school and the new school. And the reason that you've heard that is because newer school analytic types want to be able to take those human elements out of it and say, no, this is not really how the game works. But anybody that puts on a uniform would tell you that clutch is a real thing, and guys are really good in big moments. And what it really is not that you're going to get better. You can't all of a sudden become a better player, but it's your ability to stay locked in, to calm your nerves, not to try to do too much or to get locked up with anxiety. You can go one of two ways in those big spots, or you can just stay the same and still be the good player that you really are in those spots. And anybody that has had the history of it, I think they'll absolutely tell you that. Don't let the moment get too big. And so there's emotion to this game as much as some of the numbers would like to take emotion out. Clutch is absolutely a real thing.
Runner on, and Kiner Falefa takes low, 2-0. Isaiah doubled in the second, scored a run, doubled again in the third inning, driving in a run, 2 for 2 in this one tonight. It's been a nice play over at third base as well. Jason Hamill thrown over to first like he tends to do.
Wants to be in first. He's got a long way to go to catch Aaron Nola. Might get all 30 of those throws in tonight. I don't know. Rangers keep putting runners on base.
It's just the second time tonight that they've had the leadoff runner on. That one is low. 3 balls and no strikes on Kiner Falefa. Profar, by the way, has stolen 4 bases this year in 4 tries. Isaiah has a little 4-game, well, I guess 5-game hitting streak going now with the hits tonight, the doubles. Talking earlier about how Guzman ranks among the American League rookies, second with RBIs. There's another well-hit ball, and Kiner Falefa is 3 for 3 tonight.
A great job by Isaiah Kiner Falefa, and we're going to put him in our Southwest Airlines player breakdown because it has been a good night. We'll go back to the second inning with the double that he hit down the left field line. He eventually scored the first run of the game, and then in the third inning, an RBI double, another one down the left field line on a pitch that was in, and good use of the hands and getting the barrel to the ball, and the base hit right here. You just saw it. And so Isaiah Kiner Falefa very comfortable against the righty Jason Hamill tonight, and we thought it might have been a night off for Kiner Falefa, and instead it's been a 3-hit night, and here we are only in the 5th inning.
Ground ball to Moustakas. Quick throw over to second. The relay this time from Merrifield in time to turn the double play. 5-4 to 3. Profar is at third base, but suddenly 2 out in the inning.
A little bit of a buzzkill there. Just the 4th double play that Jason Hamill has induced this year as Robinson Chirinos hits the easy hopper to Mike Moustakas. Wasn't a great throw, but Whit Merrifield had plenty of time with Chirinos running. You're going to watch the throw here kind of down and away. It's a good job by Merrifield to hang in there. You're always taught to assume the throw is going to be a bad throw. Make sure that you're ready for it. You don't want to get on your heels, get too comfortable, and expect a perfect throw. You're always going to catch the perfect throw, but you got to be ready and expecting the bad throw.
First pitch strike to Guzman. Ronald's been on both times tonight. Well, pitch count for Hamill closing in on 80 as he works in this 5th inning. Very high again. Well, he is, when he has missed tonight, quite often it has been not just up in the zone, but way up out of the zone.
Yeah, the strike percentage has been down. You see the total pitches by inning. That second inning, the Rangers really worked up the pitch count, did a nice job in the 3rd inning as well. But just 57% strikes tonight for Jason Hamill and only 51% with his fastball. I always expect that fastball percentage to be a little bit higher. Cole Hamels has bounced back nicely in that regard, 64%, which is right there near league average.
Two balls, two strikes. So far walking down that third base line, and a foul tip keeps the at bat going. One fouled off of Perez's hand, apparently.
Take a look at this pitch here, and look, I got underneath the glove and ended up catching his throwing hand. Right on top, maybe a knuckle. Just telling Jason Hamill, yeah, it's my index finger knuckle, but I'm ready. Mentioned Profar coming off the line. We talk about this a lot with the shifts. There's opportunities, or just get a situation where your third baseman is playing pretty far off the bag, the way that Moustakas is right now, and your job as an infielder, or excuse me, as a base runner, is to basically take the biggest lead that you can take, even though it's at third or a strong secondary. All you have to do is be able to beat the third baseman back to the bag. And the reason you want to take that big lead, because any ball in the dirt or scoots past Perez, you want to be able to score on it.
Strike three called. Guzman down looking two in the fifth inning. Halfway there tonight, Rangers lead it 4-0.
It's been a good night for Cole Hamels up to this point so far through 4 innings. He's done a nice job against the Kansas City Royals, racking up some strikeouts. You see him using the bottom of the zone, the top of the zone, and then, of course, getting some ground balls as well. Always part of the Cole Hamels game. And so far for him, he's thrown the ball pretty well here against Kansas City. We talked about how good he has been in this ballpark over the course of his career. 4 innings, just a 1 hit allowed, a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. No earned runs allowed for Cole Hamels in this ballpark. This is his 3rd start here. Try to keep that going. Pretty impressive. We talk about the hitters that like it here. Well, obviously, Cole Hamels has enjoyed his brief time at Kauffman Stadium.
This is low with that one, 2-0 to start Alex Gordon in this 5th inning. Hamels has retired 10 of the last 11 he has faced, starting with a double play ground ball. So he hasn't really been pushed or threatened much since that 1st inning. Gordon grounded out in the 2nd. He's 0 for 1. This one lined over third base, drops in there for a base hit. True will hustle it back to the middle of the diamond, but Gordon on with a leadoff single in the 5th inning. Brings up Alcides Escobar, who struck out in the 2nd. We're talking about Escobar's struggles at the plate earlier tonight. The one thing about Escobar is the guy plays every day. This is now 406 consecutive starts for him, all of them at shortstop. A streak that goes back to late September of 2015. And according to Elias, it's the longest streak in Royals history. It's the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. And CJ, I bet you'll even know this one. The last shortstop to match that kind of a streak.
Jimmy Rollins.
Nice play at third base by Kiner Falefa, but he can't get off a throw. Lost it on the exchange there, and Escobar is aboard. 2 men on here to start the 5th inning.
Oh, this looked like it was going to be another nice play by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He looked like he fielded it cleanly, but it was on that exchange. See it there. That's a nice job to be able to pick that ball. That is not an easy play. They give him an error on that one. That is a tough error. All right, he slid at that ball. He picked it clean on the short hop. And I don't know, can you penalize a guy that after he makes a great play but then doesn't finish it? Because that's where the error took place on the exchange. I don't know. I thought that was a little harsh.
Fielder's choice and an E5 as he was looking to get Gordon at second. Almonte tries to bunt and fouls it away. A couple of base runners on to start this 5th inning for Kansas City, but their 8th and 9th place hitters at the plate now and then coming. Almonte 0 for 1.
Was that right, Jimmy Rollins?
No, it's Cal Ripken.
Oh.
Last shortstop of the longest streak. Yeah.
American League.
1-1 to Almonte.
It was interesting during Escobar's tenure, and I know it's still going on, but when they were playing well here in Kansas City, 14-15, when they found themselves in the World Series, won a World Series, I mentioned that Escobar was a guy that just did not get on base, but he hit leadoff for this team. And Ned Joe said, yeah, I get it. The numbers don't make sense, but we're winning with him hitting leadoff. Why would I change it? I thought that was always kind of an interesting take. At the end of the day, winning is what matters most, and he just felt like their lineup was better off with Escobar leading off, even if he was posting a .290 on base percentage. And it's hard to argue. They got the ring.
I know, but I remember it being a big point of conversation, and I kind of remember thinking, well, it's. I mean, I don't know if the end result, the win, is what you're chasing ultimately, and whatever reason you feel like that gives you that better chance, I guess. But the numbers certainly indicated that they might have, you know, had a better opportunity out there. A little bouncer shortstop, quick flip to second, the relay to first, in time, double play. 6-4-3. Escobar and Almonte erased.
A nice job here by the Rangers, and we know this. They're so good at turning the ground ball double play. So many of them over the years came in tied for 7th into the series in baseball, and they turn another one. Second one of the night for the Texas Rangers, and that is number 12 for Cole Hamels on the year. And it's interesting. He has a knack. He's a veteran. He's been in big spots. A knack for making the pitch when he has to make it. His ground ball percentage is actually slightly below league average at 42% this year, but he knows when he needs them, when he wants them, and how to get them. And he executes his pitch. He's going to get it, and he's done it twice in a couple of big spots tonight.
2 gone now, and Hamels backs away. What I would love to know, though, is what are those conversations like with Ned Yost and, let's say, the analytics department that might have been, we don't know, might have been arguing otherwise, saying like, okay, I get it, you guys are winning, and you know, we're winning, that's great, but we think there might be a better solution here. And now I just wonder how that conversation goes down, and how you get to where they got, which is sticking with Escobar in that leadoff spot.
Well, I love the way that you said it, because I think that's how you should approach it if you were in the analytics department here in Kansas City. For anybody that's been around Ned Yost, he doesn't beat around the bush. He's going to let you know how he feels, and you want to be careful because he's going to come at you pretty strong. He's obviously knows the game extremely well, and he understands that about the on-base percentage. You're not telling him something he doesn't know. But I probably would approach him with that same kind of, temperament to me. Hey, Skipper, what do you think about, instead of saying, hey, this is the wrong way to do it, because he will eat you alive if you walk in his office.
So rolled into left field by Herrera. RBI single gets Gordon to the plate, and Kansas City is on the board. Their first run of the game, and that's the first time. Well, let's see. Is that an earned run? That is not.
Well, it's tough to say. First of all, look at the pitch, and there's a cutter that is middle in and pretty well located. And Herrera has taken a couple of good swings tonight against Cole Hamels. But what you're getting at, and I'm wondering, well, is it the first earned run that Cole Hamels has allowed in this ballpark? So you go base hit. Now, the error that was charged to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would have been the first out, and then you get a double play. So if they're saying the error was because they were going to try to get the guy out at second, then it would be unearned.
It's an unearned run. As the inning would be recreated the way they scored it, fielder's choice in an E5, yeah. So, top of the order for Whit Merrifield, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. 4-1 the score. Kansas City 22 wins, 50 losses. Got that 50th loss yesterday with the Rangers taking the opener of this series. It's the earliest in terms of calendar date that they have ever reached 50 losses in a season. It matches the worst 72 game start in their franchise's history. 2006, they also began 22 and 50. They won their 73rd game that year, which means the Rangers win this one tonight, then it would be the worst start for the Royals ever through 73 games of a season.
It's interesting for Ned Yost, who has been here from the beginning of the first rebuild, taken through the winning period. Now you're going backwards again, and that could be tough sometimes on a manager. The expectations were really high. Now they have changed, and when you're ultra competitive, but it sounds like he still wants to be here and taking these guys through their next rebuild.
In the dirt, and Herrera heads to second base. That's a wild pitch.
Not a lot Robinson Chirinos could do on this one. It was a good read by Herrera. You see how far in front of home plate that ball bounced, and Robinson thought maybe he would have a chance, but look at the good secondary lead and very little hesitation by Herrera, and we've already seen him run well, and no chance at all. Even if Robbie was able to pick that cleanly with his bare hand, he was not going to have a play at second.
Two pitch, and Merrifield in the air, center field. Going to be another long run for the Shields. Can he get to it? He does. Tracks down another one just before hitting the wall, and the inning is done. Kansas City gets their first run of the night, an unearned run. But we head to the 6th inning. Rangers leading it 4-1. All right, thanks, John. Here it's a 4-1 game as we go to the 6th inning. Jason Hamill out there for more work. Delino DeShields checks his swing and a little tapper. A high bounce back to the mound. And he is retired to start the 6th inning.
That was kind of an awkward play. You don't see a check swing. Must have obviously caught home plate. Took a huge bounce. Pretty unusual.
That's a frustrating one for Delino.
See here, try to hold it up, and yeah, you see it right there. Hit home plate, take a high bounce.
So 1 pitch, 1 out. And now up top for Shin-Soo Choo. 0 for 3 so far today. Trying to keep his streak going. He takes strike 1.
Check this out. I thought this was interesting. Tell me if I'm wrong, if you think this is not
You're
interesting.
wrong.
But 0-1 count here, right? You think about pitcher's advantage. This year, Jason Hamill has allowed a .390 batting average on 0-1 pitches. It seemed really high to me when I saw that. Big. Right, you're ahead in the count. Guys are hitting nearly 400 off you when you are ahead 0-1. 906 OPS in those spots.
Well, league average on an 0-1 count is well short of 390.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
But it was still only 9th worst in baseball. If you can believe that. The 390. How about this?
That's interesting.
The guy that's first, Zach Greinke. 567 batting average against on 0-1 counts for him this year. An OPS over 1,400. 0-1. Supposed to be your advantage as a pitcher.
So you're a pitcher. Why? Why would
That's
that
a good
be?
question. I don't know. Maybe getting a little bit too much of the plate in that spot, working too hard to get ahead 0-2 and catching too much of the plate too many times. Doesn't make a ton of sense, to be honest with you, especially with a guy like Greinke. As experienced as he is, a guy that's got a game plan the way that he does.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Shin-Soo Choo. You know, what would be interesting would be to go back and take all of those 0-1 pitches then and see what did he throw and where did he throw them. And
sure,
you know, I think the argument ostensibly, right, just from a very, 30,000 foot view is that, you're ahead 0-1, you're going to not waste one, but it's going to be a little bit more of a
pitcher's pitch, use the corner.
Yeah. Full count now on Choo. That's very strange.
And I think too for Hamill, who has had that tag 3rd time through the order, right? A little bit of an issue. That was his problem in Chicago. He got painted into a corner when he pitched for Joe Madden and the Cubs. Well, he's going 4th time through the order right now with Choo.
Ground ball and through the right side, base hit for Choo. 33 consecutive games for Choo. And he's 1 for 4 tonight.
Can't keep this guy down right now. Not the way that he is swinging. We've talked a lot about him shortening up that leg kick a little bit, and just a kind of double toe tap that he did in that spot right there, and he gets himself another base hit, and on once again for Choo.
So Cal Eldred out there to have a word. Most of the infield over there as well. Choo on base with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Rangers lead 4-1. Now this conversation going long enough. You wonder if maybe Eldred just trying to buy a little time for his bullpen as our Southwest live look into the bullpen. He's hiding, but that's Tim Hill back there. There he is, 54.
Sidearm lefty, and now they'll get Bauer going as well. So double barrels. I'm with you. No doubt they were trying to buy some time there, and as well as Nomar Mazara is swinging the bat tonight. I got to believe that Jason Hamill will not get an opportunity to face him, so they want to make sure Hill is ready to face the next hitter.
Andrews up there 0 for 3 so far today, and he takes strike 1. Yesterday, Elvis had a couple of walks, also 0 for 3. Just his 2nd game back off the disabled list. So the base hit by Chu, extending his already career best on base streak. And it is the longest active streak in baseball, but Alex Bregman's like, what, a couple games short of that right now. I think Bregman might be at 30. Sort of tough to catch a guy on a streak like that, though, right?
You're not going to catch him. You need him to stop. Then you might have an opportunity to pass him.
Maybe get a couple double headers.
One way to do it.
It's a 1-1. And a strike to Andrews.
So for Jason Hamill, as I mentioned, with Nomar Mazara on deck, highly unlikely that he would face him unless he can get himself that double play, and then maybe Ned Yost would give him an opportunity. He's down right now, so he's only in line for a loss. And you see the pitch count at 92. He has thrown as many as 109 this season.
Two and two. He has had traffic every inning. Rangers, in fact, have stranded 8 runners through the first 5 innings tonight. Well, despite the fact that they lead, they've had 9 hits so far. There have been opportunities that have gone by the board as well. 2-2 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. So he strikes out Andrews. 2 away. And that brings Ned Yost out of the dugout. So Hamill, you have to believe he knew that was coming, but he still looks disappointed. Yost coming out, signals for the left-hander. We'll bring in Hill in a moment.
Here in the top of the 6th inning. It has been a good night here for Nomar Mazara. We're going to take you through his 3 at-bats. It has been all singles. You see him going down, getting a pitch, beating the shift right there. Probably a routine ground ball. This, though, not. A line drive into right center field. That was hit number 2. And then this line drive down the right field line for hit number 3. And so Nomar Mazara having a very good night up to this point, and an opportunity for a 4-hit night. He's got 2 of those in his career. Each of the last 2 seasons, Nomar has gotten 4 hits. And interesting, in those 4-hit games, just 1 extra base hit as he gets set to face the left-hander Tim Hill in game number 34. Hill, high ERA of nearly 5, 21 2/3 innings. And Hill, a guy that's got a fastball sits at 91, slider at 81, and a changeup that has averaged 79 miles per hour this year.
Well, he'll throw over to first base.
So interesting for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who also has 3 hits tonight. Isaiah already has 2 4-hit games in his career. His career obviously started a little after this season started. Nomar, as good as he has been, has 2 in his career so far, 1 per year.
Slow roller first base, and Dozier right there. And the inning is over. So Tim Hill makes really light work of his assignment in the 6th inning. 5.5 in. Rangers still lead by 3.
When Delino DeShields made a really nice catch. Look how far he had to run. 113 feet. He just glides to that ball with a great speed of Delino DeShields had a 29% catch probability, and Delino continues to play an excellent center field. And check this out, outs above average. That's one of the new StatCast metrics for defense. Delino DeShields leading all Major League outfielders with 11 outs above average. And they take all their different calculations that they have, and they've come up with this super secret formula, and Delino is an 11. Double hockey sticks.
So who was second there?
Billy Hamilton.
At 9.
I believe so.
But ours goes to 11.
Yeah.
0-2.
They take things like catch probability, and I was reading into the scoring system, and I'm not going to bore you with it too much, but I saw, as an example, if there was a 25% catch probability, and you make the catch, you get 0.75 points. And that's where I was like, oof, all right, I'm out. I'll take your word for it. He's good.
High fly ball, center field. Delino ranging back again. He'll get 0.62 extra outs for that one. One away. Well, Saturday, June 30th, it's an 8:05 first pitch. White Sox and the Rangers, middle game of that series. First 15,000 fans get a Rugie and Smokey the Horse bobblehead, courtesy of Golden Chick. Tickets are at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS.
I'd watch the reality show. Rugie and Smokey?
Rugie and Smokey.
I would absolutely watch that.
I think I would too. Broken bat bloop out towards center field, and nobody can get to that one. And Moustakas reaches here with one out in the 6th inning.
It's a good pitch here by Cole Hamels, and you can tell by the contact he gets that ball up and in and breaks the bat of Mike Moustakas. But Moose is a pretty strong guy and is able to fist that ball out into center field, get a base hit on it. I could see like theme shows, you know. Rugie and Smokey go to the circus. One episode, that one. Kind of bouncing around, doing their thing.
Would there be a man with a big yellow hat?
Has to be.
Here is Salvador Perez, 0 for 2.
Rugie and Smokey coach a Little League team. I'm in.
Has to be a Halloween episode. Go trick-or-treating. Perez is grounded into a double play and flied out to right field. This is year 2 of a 5-year deal for the Royals with Salvador Perez. 0-2 the count. Now, he missed time earlier this year with that sprained left knee. And we mentioned earlier that that has led, since his return from the DL, to playing a little more first base. We'll see if maybe that is a trend that continues in Kansas City, because the one thing about Salvador Perez is that he caught like every game all the time. That was sort of his deal. And he strikes out here. 2 away in the 6th inning.
Big swing here on a 2-strike count. Watch Salvador Perez just try to get really big and crush this baseball, and it goes down to a knee. Good job by Cole Hamels to get that ball by Perez. And he's definitely not shy when it comes to taking big hacks. That is part of his game. But you mentioned that contract, kind of interesting, I think, with Salvador Perez. He signed like a 1980s contract. What was it, 5 years, $7 million, an original deal? And the Royals felt like they needed to do a little bit better, the great work that he had done, and so they rewarded him with a much better deal.
Dozier 0 for 2. Checks up a swing, but the pitch is strike. No balls and 2 strikes on the Royals' first baseman. 5 strikeouts so far tonight for Cole Hamels. Hamels continues to pitch well on the road. A .240 earned run average away from home this year. Buries that one. That was the 7th best road earned run average among American League starting pitchers. That's a number that goes down a little bit more so far here tonight.
Been great in these spots, you know, when he's done it. We talked about it in our open, just what a great job he has done against really good lineups on the road as well. Obviously the Royals not as strong. Doesn't mean that it's an easy path by any means for Cole Hamels, but he has been very comfortable and he's looking sharp right now.
Well, his 6th strikeout of the night, and it's another goose egg in the 6th inning. So the Rangers scoring some offense, kind of dancing in the aisles. They're on top 4-1. Baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer. Having fun tonight. They're doing the CJ.
That's right.
In the aisles, yeah. He heard you talking about the whip and the nay-nay the other night.
He's getting it, not quite there, really close, almost there. That'll help him out.
Brandon Maurer has come in to pitch here for Kansas City in the 7th inning. Rangers leading at 4-1. So Tim Hill, a very short relief stint tonight, just 1 pitch. Now the count of ball and a strike on Adrian Beltre.
It's the lefty specialty. A 1-pitch outing.
I trust you had a couple of those.
Oh, baby. My favorites, though, are the 1-pitch wins. Those are fantastic. Unofficially, I claim to be the only baseball player to get one of those on multiple continents.
Ooh.
Had a 1-pitch win here in the big leagues. As a member of the Braves against the Rockies, and then I got one as a member of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in Japan.
Still talking about it.
That's right.
Little bouncer to second base. Merrifield takes care of Adrian Beltre. 1 away in the 7th inning.
I mean, it's something to be proud of because you have absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, you did nothing. You threw a pitch and you got a big league win. It's so absurd. It's a good argument for why the win shouldn't matter.
I mean, did you go back to the hotel, look at yourself in the mirror and think, I'm a fraud?
No, I'm a winner. That's what I tell myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good job, winner. I'm gonna go double barrels right in the mirror.
Yeah.
Way to get that out with 1 pitch when your team was down.
Profar's walked a couple of times tonight and lined out. 0 for 1. Maurer finds the inside corner. 98 miles per hour there. 0-2 the count.
He's got a live arm. He has had some issues. They sent him down, DFA'd him, back on the roster, and another opportunity here with the Kansas City Royals for Maurer.
He's another guy. We were talking about home road splits earlier for some of these Kansas City Royals. He should probably be an exclusively home pitcher. His road ERA, and we're talking about since the start of 2017, is 10.61. A fly ball out to left field. Gordon is there, 2 away.
Did you say since the start of when?
2017.
Oh boy.
That's 35 outings on the road at 10.61. Now here at home, Maurer's, he's okay, 4.42 ERA, 40 appearances here at Kauffman Stadium, but I guess I would have to think everybody would be aware of those numbers. And as a manager, I would think you would legitimately be a little worried about giving him the ball on the road.
Well, you either believe in a guy or you don't, and especially when he comes out of your bullpen, it matters. And this is what he had done this year. Just the 1 game on the road and some struggles there, obviously. But the reality is, with relievers, you can't pick and choose. You either have confidence in them or you don't, and you start to see those kind of awkward splits. Now, this year, don't worry about it as much, and you realize it wasn't as many games. But when you start to get a little bit of a track record, you do get a little bit concerned, and that's a decision that a manager has to make. To essentially ignore that is probably the best way to do it, because if you start trying to play that game, listen, you go on a 6-day road trip, you're going to have to use pretty much everybody in your bullpen.
He's working quickly. The 2-1 pitch is off the plate. 3 balls and a strike now on Kiner Falefa. 3 for 3 tonight. Couple of doubles. A single his last time in. Might get something good right here. 3-1. He does, but lays off, and it's a full count. It'll be interesting tomorrow to see if Kiner Falefa gets that opportunity to catch. Yesterday, I guess you could sort of say, officially became the backup catcher. Jeff Bannister said, yeah, we're planning on Wednesday being his day. And part of that is you want to give him a chance to catch. And part of it is that they feel like with Chirinos, they've found a formula they like. 2 games on, 1 game off. And if they can kind of keep that ratio right around 2-1, then they feel like he's better, healthier. A little high, and there's ball 4. Kiner Falefa's on for a 4th time tonight. Well, a little reminder that a Coca-Cola family pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets, food, kids zone access, souvenir programs, and Coke soft drinks. Available June 27th, rather 25th through the 27th for that series against the Padres. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials. Get yourself set up with that Coca-Cola family pack. A lot of Rangers fans already on this road trip, so a lot of folks traveling well here to the Midwest. We're now dealing with Chirinos, who was walked, reached on an error, and bounced into a double play. 2 outs and a man on here in the 7th inning. One and one.
It was weird. You see where he caught that ball and where it showed up on the Fox tracks a little bit, and like Salvador Perez was trying to turn that into a strike. That's not going to happen, though. Appreciate the effort. When you're pitching, of course, you'll take it every time.
1-2 the count. Now, I've heard, though, that as a catcher, you have to be a little careful, right? Sure. About yanking a pitch that's so far out and trying to make it look good, because you're not going to fool an umpire. You're really only going to draw his ire.
Well, they get angry if they see too much movement, no doubt. They're battling back there. They're wanting to do the best job that they possibly can do. And they know the game. They know what catchers are doing, what they're working on, receiving, and trying to make pitches that are borderline look like strikes, or pitches that they know that are balls. And you start to see too much movement, and you'll hear it from an umpire. A catcher certainly will. An umpire will tell him almost to calm down a little bit.
Runner goes, and from his knees, a throw from Perez in time, and they get Kiner Falefa. Not by a mile. That's that great arm of Salvador Perez. The inning is done. They stand and stretch here at Kansas City. Rangers still leading 4-1. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. The city of fountains. Bottom of the 7th inning here. 4-1. Rangers leading. And Alex Gordon will lead things off. The left fielder. He'll give way to Alcides Escobar and Abraham Almonte.
How beautiful to look out there by those fountains tonight. We were coming back from commercial right there. Yeah. Sit out there after the game, maybe relax a little bit. Look nice out there.
Yourself a cigar.
Oh, now you're speaking my language, Dave Raymond. Because usually you're not.
Well, when the Rangers win, we either get ice cream or allow you to go smoke a cigar.
I resisted the ice cream today Press box dining.
They're very proud of you. Of course, they
Thank you.
didn't have any.
No, they did. It came later.
Oh, did they?
It
Okay.
came later. Went back up before the game started to get a little iced coffee and had a little stare down with the ice cream machine, and I won.
Proud of you. Gordon has scored the Royals' only run tonight. Takes outside, 2-1 the count. He reached on a base hit to lead off the 5th inning. It eventually came around on a single by Herrera. Meanwhile, Cole Hamels in this 7th inning, closing in on 100 pitches for the night.
And that's something you worry about as much with Cole. 107 has been the high this year. That's not afraid to go deep into games, but the Rangers will certainly start to get somebody up just in case he gets into trouble in this 4-1 game.
Little tight, so a leadoff walk in this 7th inning. And we take a Chevy game break, sending it back once again to John Radigan. Thanks, John. So the highlight there by Eduardo Escobar as we now look at Alcides Escobar. Gordon.
All the Escobars.
Yeah.
By the way, have you been watching Narcos?
I have.
Wow.
That's a bad Escobar. Very bad.
So we don't want to hear about the Twins being hot. We're getting ready to head in there after this series, weekend series for the Rangers coming up. It's the one time we get to go out of division to Minnesota. Beautiful ballpark there, Target Field.
Escobar takes a strike and the count 0-2.
Cole Hamels going to try to pull this trick one more time. You should see the pitch count at 101. Got an 0-2 count, so an opportunity maybe to finish off Escobar. But you see Jake Diekman right there. A couple of switch hitters due after Escobar in Almonte and Herrera.
The dirt. Escobar not taking the bait on that one. He has struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. So the struggling Alcides Escobar with the lead man on in this 7th inning. He's the front end of that bottom third of the order, so it is a good spot for Hamels if he's going to work around that leadoff walk. This one in the air, right field. Mazzara toward the line and angling back, reaches up and he hauls that one in, one away. I think kind of hung up there a little bit longer.
Yeah, it did, and I think probably what surprised Nomar Mazzara is that this ball didn't slice more to the line. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. You would expect this ball to kind of curve, and I think he anticipated that, but it didn't move as much as he thought. He made a nice adjustment in the end to pull that one in. Well, there it is. Season average for Cole Hamels has been just under 100. I mentioned the 107 as a season high, and he is just 4 pitches away from that.
Almonte, the hitter, fouls away strike one. Both times up today, he has rolled the ball to shortstop. One time he was leading off. That was in the 3rd inning. The second time in the 5th inning, it started a double play. And Andrews, Profar, hoping for maybe much of the same here. This one a little high, 1-1. Things have not gone well for Kansas City, especially lately. This one fouled way over to the right side. Out of play. They've lost 27 of their last 37 games here at home. Now that's a longer stretch. But recently, home, road, whatever. Man, Ned Yost kind of shaking his head these days. Hasn't been much going right for them at all. fact, they've won just 2 games the entire month of June. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 3. So Almonte comes the 8th strikeout of the night, 7th strikeout of the night for Hamels. 2 away.
You see him digging deep here. You know Cole Hamels wants to finish off this inning, and he elevates the fastball. They're trying to go in and maybe even down a little bit, but he'll take it. It's a strikeout and a good fastball from Cole Hamels. And Jeff Bannister is going to give Cole Hamels an opportunity here, and he certainly has earned it. But he's got to be thrilled with what he has seen yesterday. Bartolo Colon goes 6, and you go nice and easy with the bullpen. Diekman, Barnett, Kella. And now if Hamels can give you 7, really nice opportunity to set up the bullpen the way you want to.
Line drive out to right field, and right there for it, Mazzara. The inning is done, and so Hamels gets through 7 tonight, and the Rangers lead it 4-1.
A good job by Cole Hamels. We'll see if he comes back out. Maybe could be it for him, but a nice night here in Kansas City as the road starts and the success continue to happen for the lefty.
Hamels, a lot of smiles, handshakes down there with the dugout. 108 pitches tonight, and a 4-1 Rangers lead as we go to the 8th inning. So nicely done by Hamels. Bottom third of the order now for the Rangers in the 8th inning. They'll get a look at Birch Smith.
The right-hander coming out of the bullpen here for the Kansas City Royals. And for Smith, fastball it sits at 93, curveball at 78, and you'll see a changeup as well at 81 miles per hour. He'll struggled a little bit, and there are the overall numbers for him. You see the ERA 7.31. That opponent's batting average, and there's no split that really has worked in his favor. Lefties hitting 293 against Smith, and right-handers 299.
First offering, off-speed delivery in there for a strike to Chirinos. Robinson 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And hits this ball high in the air out to right field. Herrera started back quickly onto the warning track. Now back to the wall, and he'll make the catch. Chirinos gave him a scare, but just a deep fly ball, 1 away here in the 8th inning.
We've seen Herrera play a pretty good right field here for the Royals through a game plus so far. This is a nice play. You got that softer chain link fence that you have to deal with as opposed to the padding. You're never sure if you're going to get on the padding or catch the fence, but he did a nice job of tracking this ball, taking that last peek to see where the wall was. It's a nice play.
Now first pitch swinging, and Guzman sends it down the third base line. Guzman's second hit of the night. He goes for 2, and he'll have a stand-up double. He's been on 3 times tonight in 4 trips.
Young guys continuing to get it done, and Ronald Guzman chipping in here. You'll see that's a nice inside out swing. We talk about this a lot, where swings are getting big in the big leagues. I know we didn't hit it that hard, but sometimes you get that pitch that's middle in and your eyes get big. You want to let that front hip fly open and try to launch that ball over the right field wall. Well, saw Guzman keep the hands in. I'm not saying he was trying to hit it right down the line that way, but it's a good approach, and it turned into a double.
Corners are in for the Shields, and that one runs in on him. See Moustakas and Dozier, and they'll creep in a little more as Smith begins to deliver the middle of the infield bag. Delano has a double tonight, 1 for 3. He takes low. Shields now a 5-game hitting streak. It's a piece, 2-1. There was a time earlier this year where Delano was up over 300 with the batting average. Boy, he really fell into a tough stretch of about 30, man, maybe 30 plus games. Lately, though, has dialed it back in. 11 hits in the last 8 games. Lines that one to first, and Dozier makes a great play. Good reaction down at first, and he takes extra bases away from Delano to Shields.
A tough break there for Delano. You love the swing and you love the approach. And man, did he hit this ball hard, but nothing to show for it. Thinking about Dozier being perfectly placed in that spot, in on the grass. Not a lot of time to react. It's a nice defensive play as well.
Boy, Delano's had a couple of tough ones tonight that way. Had the check swing comebacker. Cost him an at bat. A real nice play there by Dozier. Here's Chu, who had a single his last time, and takes high for ball 1. Reached all 5 times he came to the plate yesterday. 1 for 4 tonight. It's 2-0. It's reached in 33 consecutive now. The top handful in the league in walks, on base percentage. But, and we do point this out actually once or twice a series, it's not just that he's getting on base via the walk, although he is doing that at an absurd rate. He's been hitting for some power with 13 home runs for the year, and he holds off there, takes a strike, 2-2.
Oh, he has been. He's shown a lot of power, and almost turning back the clock a little bit here is Chu. You're not supposed to be doing these things at 35 years old. I know we see it with Adrian Beltre putting together unbelievable at bats, but Chu has not lost a step at all. It's been a lot of fun to watch him during the streak.
Strikes out here to end the 8th inning. Rangers leave a man in scoring position. To the last of the 8th we go, 4-1. So far, so good. 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Kansas City. July 4th, Rangers host the Houston Astros for the final time in 2018. And the game time will be 6:05 on July 4th. Fireworks after the game, of course. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. That's a great way to spend the July 4th holiday. Silver Boot Series, fireworks afterward. Oh, yeah.
We'll be there. And here comes Jake Diekman out of the Ranger bullpen. We saw him last night throw the ball well. And there's the arsenal. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 82-mile-an-hour slider for the lefty this season. Right on cue, 94. I know you like to call me out for lying sometimes on that.
I wouldn't do it so much if you didn't lie so often.
Fair point.
Top of the order for Diekman. 0-2 the count. That one at 94 miles per hour.
Back to back. That's how you average 94, by throwing a lot of them. Good job here by Cole Hamels, by the way, tonight. You know, he had those couple of walks in the first inning, but ended up 21 of 27 on first pitch strikes, 67% strikes when it was all said and done. That is 4% better than his season average here in 2018. Really nice night for the lefty. Talked about this last night, Jake Diekman, the slider, and how good it has been this year. Well, last year, 0 hits allowed. Opposing hitters were 0 for 11 on his slider. This year, just a 108 batting average against that pitch. To go with the high-powered fastball, it's the slider that does most of the dirty work. 16 strikeouts. Make it now 17 on the slider from Jake Diekman. This one ended up going kind of backdoor by accident, right? You see where Robinson Chirinos was, and it's one of those things where pitchers will kind of laugh about it. You don't do it on purpose, but you're almost better off missing your spot by a foot or two as opposed to a few inches. A few inches is more often than not going to end up in a pretty good spot to hit, especially over the plate. Well, Jake, missed a decent amount arm side, but it certainly worked to his advantage.
I loved watching Merrifield as he swung the bat. He wasn't even through the swing, I don't think, and he was starting to mumble to himself. Oh my God. That one didn't work out. And he's been great against left-handed pitching this year, but Diekman, they handled him with some authority right there. So 1 away. And now Paulo Orlando, who is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. One on the outside corner, 96 miles per hour. Well, Diekman grew up not far from here, Wymore, Nebraska. Hard hit ground ball foul, 1-2. Make that drive in a couple hours.
What's the closest cabbage burger to here?
Well, I don't know that they have the. Well, actually, you know what? They do have Runzas in Kansas. So if we just, if you just went across the state line, went to Lawrence. In fact, I had 2 there in one day.
Whoa.
This winter.
In one sitting or 2 separate?
Oh, no, I had multiple.
You went for lunch
sittings.
and dinner?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Wow. And you're willing to admit that. Good for you.
Oh, yeah. No, it was probably one of the best days of my off season.
Sounds like a great off season.
A fast food cabbage burger. Onion rings.
So how far is that from here?
Lawrence?
Yeah. No,
it's all the way. I mean, it's, 45 minutes maybe.
Oh, is that all? Mm-hmm. You get to this part of the country and sometimes, it's up the road 3.5 hours. A lot of times, which is nothing.
That's no joke. That is true. Full count on Orlando. Diekman's payoff pitch and a swing and a miss. Strike 3, so back-to-back strikeouts. Gives us a moment now for a word from our friends at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Two away. Now, if I brought you a Runza, would you be willing to, of course, give it a shot?
I'd absolutely try it.
You have a rental car, right?
I do, yeah. But the answer to the question is no.
Come on, it's 45 minutes.
Just down the street.
Stockus
if we get rained out of golf tomorrow.
Can we do it? Let's do it.
I'll think
that
it
would be
over.
so awesome.
Fingers crossed that we don't get rained. More importantly, out of the game tomorrow.
I'm golfing in the rain either way.
You like the priest in Caddyshack? Is that Caddyshack, right?
Yeah, good Lord would never stop me on the best round of my life. Hard ground ball. But Elvis right there for it. And it completes a 1-2-3 for Jake Diekman. And guess what? When we come back, Elvis Andrus is going to have a bat in his hand. He'll lead things off in the 9th inning. Rangers up by 3. Well, you can enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
I need that water gun right there.
You win.
Nice.
I don't think I could beat you.
So I didn't know about the Ballpark app. Pretty new. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Smart.
I want to say that I ended up using it last year for something.
I think I got to assume, do they have things like closest concessions, restroom, all that while you're in the ballpark? If so, it's a really good idea. If not, get on it.
You're going to talk to the designers?
Yeah, smart idea. Didn't know about that one.
That's a good app. Well, here we go. 2, 3, and 4 in the 9th inning. Andrus taps the first pitch back up the middle. Escobar with a great pick. The turn, the throw in time. Oh, safe. I misread this. I misread him. That's safe. So Elvis on with an infield hit.
And a big smile here. Elvis didn't hit it hard, but he put it in a pretty good spot. Escobar gave this a run. You see him come across, spin, nice quick release, and Elvis just beats it out. And that's his first hit since he comes off the DL. You know he wanted that one pretty badly as we're watching this replay, and it was close, but just barely beat that throw. Nice play by Escobar.
Very nice. Great hustle by Elvis. So the lead man on in the 9th inning. That gets Mazar to the plate with 3 hits tonight. Omar with singles his first 3 at-bats, and then his last time up in the 6th inning. Then Jost went to the bullpen, brought in the left-hander Tim Hill. Hill threw 1 pitch. Mazzaro rolled it down to first, and just like that, his perfect night was no longer. 0-2 now the count. So Bert Smith threw a scoreless 8th inning. And Yost sending him out here in the 9th.
Salvador Perez saw the swing on the second pitch of the at-bat, which Nomar chased up and away and tried to get him to do it again. It's kind of surprising to see, quite honestly, that 0-2 or the 0-1 get by him a little bit. He's been good on those balls, and the swing look short. We'll see if they decide to go breaking ball. Nomar's been pretty good on balls down in this game and really throughout this series so far. See what Perez has learned and where he tries to go. Yeah, up again, maybe.
Well, they get him swinging. Zara strikes out for the first out of the 9th inning. Well, tomorrow we'll wrap this series up, and taking a look at our forward probable, we do know that Austin Bibbins-Dirks called up and will have the start tomorrow. You see the numbers last year with the Rangers. Most of his work in relief, but did make the 6 starts. We saw him earlier this year. He did another very good job. There is that outside possibility, an all hyphenated battery. Bibbins-Dirks, Kiner-Falefa. Talking about must-see TV. Fly ball out to right field, and Herrera tracks it down. Andrews tags. He heads for second base, and he's in there. Moves up on the deep fly ball out. 2 away, but Elvis now in scoring position.
Certainly Jeff Bannister would not deny us that opportunity.
You would think so. I think if that's brought to his attention, that certainly would affect his thinking. He should have to be on board with a hyphenated battery. Considering there have been, was it 3 total hyphenated major leaguers?
Didn't I run this through you? You had the opportunity
Ryan
to guess.
Roland-Smith.
Yeah, that's it.
Bibbins-Dirks.
They took a picture together. Ryan Roland-Smith, who now works on the media side for the Mariners, does some radio, some pre and post on TV. Once in a while will sit in the television booth as well. Requested a picture with both of those guys. He got one. All smiles. Because he was upset because that was his claim to fame. He was the guy, the only one. And jokingly thinking, well, these 2 guys, you got to be kidding me. Jokingly upset. And had a little fun taking a picture with them.
Profar looking for his first hit in this one, and now as for time, almost like something got in his eye there.
He's had good at-bats. He had that line drive out to right field in his first at-bat, a couple of walks as well. Scored a run, so he's seeing the ball well, just doesn't have the result of a hit in his first 4 plate appearances.
Yeah, you know, in fact, in this series, he's 0 for 6 so far. That's got to be about the toughest 0 for 6 I've seen in a while. But he's still been getting on. A couple of walks tonight, scored a run. Yesterday walked and scored a run as well. The last game at home before we came out on this road trip, he had 4 RBIs on Sunday. This one flared out to left field. It drops in, base hit. Andrews going to be waved. Here comes throw to the plate. It's a good one, and they got him. Alex Gordon with his 7th outfield assist. Among the best in the league, a Gold Glover, and he throws out Elvis Andrews to end the top of the 9th inning. So the last of the 9th coming. Rangers still lead by 3. tighten that act
Having
up
way
back
too
there.
much fun back in the studio.
I put most of that on Radigan.
Yep, good point.
My guess is he's probably causing most of the issues, but we'll check in on that in the post-game show. Well, Keone Kela is on here in the bottom of the 9th inning, looking to save back. Well, not back-to-back games. Last night wasn't a save, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Final score 6-3
was.
from Kauffman Stadium.
To put that in my scorebook from yesterday.
Go.
Anywho.
So yes, he is going for back-to-back saves. We showed you that arsenal for Kela. Simple 2-pitch mix. It's really an interesting combination with him and Diekman when they're pitching in the same game. Really good fastballs, really good breaking pitch. More of a curveball for Kela, and as we showed you last night, he'll make it a little bit smaller at times, and it'll look like a slider, but it is a good one, and as is that fastball at 98 miles an hour.
Well, he gets the very middle of this batting order. Salvador Perez, Hunter Dozier, and Alex Gordon. And a ground ball left side. Kela right there to scoop it. Throws out Perez, one away. Well, we were asked in the pregame show today about Keone Kela, all-star candidate, and that's a slam dunk yes from both of us. Where would he rank among the best closers right now in the American League? Well, right there in the handful of individuals you might give that nod to. I mean, he has the most saves in all of Major League Baseball without a blown save. 16 for 16. And if you go back to last year, he's converted 18 in a row. He's been really strong in save spots in particular. High pop up. Playable for Chirinos. 2 away.
My goodness, that is a big league pop-up right there. And good job by Robinson Chirinos making it look easy. And of course, every good catcher knows you turn your back to the infield because that ball will come back on you. And you're going to see Kela do a nice job of letting him know where the ball is. But watch Robinson. Look where he is right there and watch where he ends up catching that ball. It's always going to bring you back a little bit. He made it look really easy. Man, that thing was up there.
Dozier, I think, a little upset at the result of that swing. You could hear it. Here is Alex Gordon. And a breaking ball right in there for a strike. Gordon just made that great defensive play a moment ago, throwing out Elvis at the plate for his 7th assist of the year. He now has 89 outfield assists in his career. Go with a number of Gold Gloves. There's only one Royal who has had more outfield assists. Amos Otis at 116. Check swing. He went. And the count 1-2.
Such a filthy combination from Kela when he can throw that hard fastball. The tightness on the breaking ball. Pretty incredible. And watch this thing right here. Just disappeared. Too late for Gordon to pick it up.
Kela, 1 strike away. And that one's a little bit low, 2-2.
So one of the things I was looking at with Kela, the great strikeout rate that he has. And a quick look, there are 70 qualified relievers that have a better than 10 strikeout per 9 rate right now. 70. 10 years ago, there were 18.
Well, here's his 2-2. It's fouled away. Gordon doing a good job of fighting him off.
I bring it up because Kela is one of those guys. He's 11 strikeouts per 9, doing an excellent job. That's an unbelievable rate. But I could not believe when I looked real quick to see how many big league relievers are doing that this year. 10 or better strikeouts per 9. 70.
Pitch on the way. That's inside. Now that you could have never gotten me to that number. If you would have asked me to guess, you know, I would have started somewhere and you would have said higher. And we would have been here for another 40 minutes before I got that high. 2 out, nobody on. Well, Kela in these save spots, they've lacked drama, most of them. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball, right side. Profar is there. This one is over. Kela has saved 17 straight And the Rangers now with their longest win streak of the year. 4 in a row as they've taken the first 2 here in Kansas City. The final tonight, 4-1.
And another nice quiet save from Kella, as you mentioned. He gets himself a couple of ground outs and that sky-high pop-up to Robinson Chirino.